what kind of videos should you create for your own business? And really doesn't matter which type of business you have. And before we actually move into anything, it's not about ads. We're going to guide you through creating videos for your customer journey in particular. So this topic is not about creating ads for social media in any shape or form, just so you know. It is a little bit different, and we're going to cover that in another video at some point in time. So many businesses do struggle to decide what type of video they need, mainly because you're conditioned through social media more so than anything else to be very, to just want to create videos for, that are basically ads. But I'll show you a few other types of videos that you could be creating, that you should effectively be creating to convert more people into buying from you. In essence, everything that you do create should at some point support your sales process. So whether that's at the very beginning, whether that's during the stages where a customer potentially is looking for different options and they're doing some research, or whether it's at the very end where they're basically deciding between you and someone else. They're going to be different types of videos. So you're going to perhaps create, informational type of video for when they're doing research. You're probably going to create testimonial type videos to support them through the end of that sales process, just to buy from you. So there's different types of videos you want to be thinking about, and they fit in different types, in different stages of your customer's journey, for example. So step one is to understand your sales process, whatever that might be, and how do you currently convert leads. So from the very, very, very start, how do they hear about you? We're not going to cover ads in this video, but for example, you might have a video that's an ad. That's how they hear about you, and then it goes through the sales process or a sales funnel of some sort, where on the other end they become your customer. Now, they might hear about you or understand that they have a problem, whatever the case might be. In the middle, they're going to be doing a bunch of research to understand their own problem and also who can potentially solve that problem the best. And then at the end, they're going to probably have 1 or 2 or 3 or 5 different options. And then how do you convert them to go with you rather than someone else? And then step 2 is to identify some bottlenecks. So where do potential customers drop off? If you get a lot of leads, that means your ads are working okay, and your lead generation is pretty good. Sometimes when you have a lot of leads, you might not get a lot of customers, and then you need to understand, why is that? Why am I not getting a lot of customers if a lot of people know about me? Now, you might need to make your product better. So your product might suck, and that might be the case that you need to actually make your product better. But then you need to sort of make content to make people aware that the product is now better, for example. Or you need to make people aware of what you do, how you do it, how you add value, and does that value align with your potential customers as well. So all of those things need to be taken into consideration. Note that you do not need to create the best looking video in the whole wide world. A lot of your customers don't care how your video looks, as long as you can communicate the value that you have. And I think, that's the strength in being able to create some really meaningful videos, is to be able to then communicate the value that you provide. It's not just about making it look cinematic and make it look really good. No one really sort of cares about that, especially if you're buying, some sort of a product or a service. You want to make sure that product or service delivers you value, not necessarily if the video looks good, or whatever else. So you need to identify what the bottlenecks are, where your customers drop off, and in particular, is your business hard to understand? You need to break things down. Do you need to teach your customers on the product or a service, or potentially the problem that they have? Do they need to know the risks that they're getting into, and all that sort of stuff, and how you mitigate those risks? I'll give you an example. So, for example, if you are renovating bathrooms and your customers are, they've got a couple of quotes and whatever the case might be, and let's say some of those don't apply waterproofing, for example, or don't do it properly. Do your customers know the risk that if that's not done properly, that if there is a leak in 3, 4, 5 years, you might have your whole bathroom window, like your bathroom wall might sort of collapse, so or start to rot, and from a $2,000, $3,000, $4,000 project, it can easily amount to tens of thousands of dollars to fix that. So those are the type of things that you would probably want to create content around, just to educate your customers and make sure that they know what the risks are. And that's going to obviously be different between different types of products that you have. So step 3 is to create a video that supports these strategies. So you can create a few different ones. Awareness is sort of like the educational videos, the testimonials, and it supports sort of the middle to end part of your sales process. So product demonstrations and explainer videos also support sort of like, perhaps the earlier part of the process there, because it sort of, shows you how the product works and how it solves their problem, so to say. And then you might have case studies and things like that. And that sort of then, might provide the lower part of your sales process as well. So it's definitely, sort of you need to choose the types of videos that you want to be creating and what would be really valuable for your customers to make sure that they're comfortable from buying from you rather than someone else. Look, if you have any more questions, reach out 6mfilms.com or create@6mfilms.com, and we'll try and answer any of the queries that you might put through. Thanks.